अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्नि गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. Welcome back to day 75 of our Bhagavad Gita learning series, and we are going to start chapter 11 today, that is the universal form. So, in the previous chapter, that is in Vibhuti Yoga, we see how the Lord described about his opulence. And as he concluded in the last verse of the previous chapter, that to Arjuna, a single fragment of myself is the cause by which I pervade and support this entire material creation. And after knowing this, Arjuna has become overwhelmed. And now he wants to see the form of the Lord by which he is pervaded in this material creation. So first we will see the different sections of this chapter, just an outline. So we see the chapter is divided into 4 sections. The first 8 verses, 1 to 8, it is Arjuna's prayers or request for showing the cosmic form or the universal form, and the mercy or the granting of the Lord. The next section we see from 9 to 34, quite a few verses. It is Sanjay's description. Sanjay will narrate the reaction of Arjuna and the interform also, the form, the description, the descriptive narration, we can say, about the form and also Arjuna's reaction. And then from 35 to 46, these verses, here we see again Arjuna's prayers. Here this prayer is to withdraw the Ugra Rupa of the Lord, that we will come to learn. And the last section, that is 47 to 55. So this is about the supremacy of the 2-armed form of the Lord, Manushim Rupam. So first we will recite the first 4 verses. Arjuna uvacha Madanugrahaya paramam guhyam adhyatma sangitam yatvayuktam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. Synonyms. Arjuna uvacha, Arjuna said, Mat anugrahaya, just to show me favor, paramam, supreme, guhyam, confidential subject, adhyatma, spiritual, samgnitam, in the matter of, yat, what, tvaya, by you, uktam, said, vachaha, words, tena, by that, mohaha, illusion, ayam, this, vigataha, is removed, mama, my. Translation. Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. So Arjuna says here that, O Lord, O Krishna, I have heard each and every word that you have uttered very attentively. And by hearing your instructions, and definitely it is your mercy that you gave me these instructions, which is the most confidential knowledge, as the Lord himself said, guhyam, then guhyataram, then guhyatamam. So first the Atma Jnana, and then he told about his energies, his nature, from 7th chapter. And in 9th chapter he gave the formula of worshipping him. That is the formula to reach the highest spiritual platform. So all these things are the most confidential spiritual subjects that the Lord has kindly given to Arjuna, and Arjuna is obliged and overwhelmed for this. And now he says that due to this, all my illusion is over now. So we see, okay, the next verse, then we will discuss, continue discussing. Okay. भवप्ययौ हि भूतानां श्रुतौ विस्तरशो मया त्वत्तः कमलपत्राक्ष माहात्म्यमपि चाव्ययम् माहात्म्यमपि चाव्ययम्. Bhava, appearance, apyayau, disappearance. He, certainly, bhutanam, of all living entities, shrutau, have been heard, vistarashaha, in detail, maya, by me, tvattaha, from you, kamalapatra aksha, O lotus-eyed one, mahatmyam, glorious, api, also, cha, and avyayam, inexhaustible. Translation. O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. So here Arjuna proves that how he understood the Lord, how he digested all the instructions, all the informations that the Lord has given him. And he says that as you told me in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity. So as we see, the Lord says that all the material energy and the spiritual energy both come from Him only. And as the Lord says that Aham Krishnasya Jagataha Prabhava Pralayastatha in 7.6, 7th chapter, verse 6. So I am responsible for the appearance and disappearance. So here Arjuna proves that he followed the words of the Lord very carefully. And the Lord also said in 9th chapter that though he is responsible for both appearance and disappearance, that is creation and dissolution, we can also say, but he is aloof from them. And all the qualities of the Lord's that we discussed in especially in 7th chapter, that is how he is the cause of all causes, how he is the essence of everything, how he is Paramasatyam, that is supreme truth, and how he is Sarva Vyapakam, that is all pervading. So all these things Arjuna understood very well. And this verse is a proof of that. And see how out of joy, that is the supreme person who is responsible for everything in this manifestation, in this material manifestation, as well as He is the cause of everything that is there in the spiritual world. So he is the best friend of Arjuna. So after knowing this, Arjuna has become so overwhelmed, and out of joy he addresses here as Kamalapatraksha. He addresses Krishna as Kamalapatraksha. That is, oh lotus-eyed one. As we all know that Krishna's eyes are like the lotus petals. The only thing present in this material world with which it can be compared, though it is far more beautiful than the lotus petal also, but still that is the best comparison we can get, which is in accordance with our experience of this material world. So that is why he addresses as Kamalapatraksha. And we will see in the next two verses also, verse 3 and 4, Arjuna will be using three beautiful adjectives for Krishna. That is, he will address Krishna as, see here, Parameshvara and Purushottama in third verse. Evametad yathathatvam atmanam parameshvara drashtumichhami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. So, synonyms. Evam, thus, itat, this, yatha, as it is, atha, have spoken, tvam, you, atmanam, yourself, parama ishvara, O Supreme Lord, drashtum, to see, ichhami, I wish, te, your, rupam, form, aishwaram, divine, purusha uttama, O best of personalities. Translation. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. So, we see, as we just said, that Parama Ishvara, that is the Supreme Controller, and Purushottama, these two addresses, Arjuna uses for the Lord here in this verse. So I will read a portion of the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Arjuna's addressing the Lord as Purushottama is also significant. Since the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is present within Arjuna himself. Therefore, he knows the desire of Arjuna, and he can understand that Arjuna has no special desire to see him in his universal form, for Arjuna is completely satisfied to see him in his personal form of Krishna. But the Lord can understand also that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to convince others. Arjuna also understands that Krishna also understands that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to set a criterion, for in the future there would be so many impostors who would pose themselves as incarnations of God. The people therefore should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form to confirm his claim to the people. How beautiful. So we see the causes for the request to show the Vishwarupa. We can see three causes are there. The first is the genuine urge of the devotee to know the Lord Asheshataha. So that could be one of the reasons. But the next two reasons that is elaborately mentioned here in this purport, they are to prove the supreme godhood of Krishna to the non-believers and atheists, and people claiming themselves as God should be ready to show the Vishwarupa, to protect the innocent people to be deceived by the impostors. So, this is the thing. And now we will see Arjuna teaches us how to put request before the Supreme. That we will see. Manyase yadi tachakyam maya drashtum iti prabho yogeshvara tato me tvam darshayatmanam avyayam. Synonyms. Manyase, you think. Yadi, if. Tat, that. Shakyam, is able. Maya, by me. Drashtum, to be seen. Iti, thus. Prabho, O Lord. Yoga Ishvara, O Lord of all mystic power. Tataha, then. Me, unto me. Tvam, you. Darshaya, show. Atmanam, yourself. Avyayam, eternal. Translation. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. So see, here also this Yogeshvara, and see the humbleness of Arjuna, and we see that though Arjuna knows it very well, that there is special mercy of Krishna upon him always, and that is why Krishna has taken the position of his chariot driver. So Arjuna knows everything. But in spite of that also, Arjuna knows that he cannot give order to Krishna. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders completely in full Krishna consciousness. So, this is the perfect understanding of Arjuna, and Arjuna is actually teaching us here. And we see in this purport, it is said that the word Yogeshwara is also very significant here, because the Lord has inconceivable power, Achintya Shakti. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace, although he is unlimited. So it is by his own choice, his own grace, that he can reveal himself, though he is unlimited. But still, he can show this particular form. And we see Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. So, actually, why we are not able to see the Lord? Because we don't surrender completely at His lotus feet. And still we think that by our own endeavor, someday we will be able to see the Lord. But it is not possible. It is not possible. If the Lord reveals Himself, then only we can see Him. There is no other option. And now we will see, as Arjuna is praying in the proper manner, the Lord is immediately granting and is ready to show His cosmic form. So in the next four verses, that is the second half of this section, 1 to 4 is Arjuna's prayers, and the next 4, that is 5 to 8, that is the Lord grants, or the Lord's mercy we can say, upon Arjuna. So, Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Pashyame Partha Rupani Shatashotha Sahasrashaha Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kriti Nicha. Synonyms. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Pashya, just see, me, my, Partha, O son of Pratha, Rupani, forms, Shatashaha, hundreds, Atha, also, Sahasrashaha, thousands, Nana Vidhani, variegated, Divyani, divine, Nana, variegated, Varna, colors, Akritini, forms, Cha, also. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, O son of Pratha, see now my opulences. Hundreds of thousands of varied, divine and multicolored forms. So I will read the purport. Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in his universal form, which, although a transcendental form, is just manifested for the cosmic manifestation and is therefore subject to the temporary time of this material nature. As the material nature is manifested and not manifested, similarly, this universal form of Krishna is manifested and non-manifested. It is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other forms. As far as a devotee is concerned, he is not eager to see the universal form. But because Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in this way, Krishna reveals this form. This universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary man. Krishna must give one the power to see it. So we see this Vishwarupa or the Virata Rupa or or the universal form is manifested for the manifestation of this material world. So we see it is temporary in nature, unlike the other spiritual forms of the Lord, that is, of course, Krishna and the other Vishnu forms. So we see that the devotees do not desire to see this form, because their concern is with the spiritual form and the spiritual world, not with this material world or anything in connection to this material world. Okay, the next verse. And one thing that is, here we see the prompt response of the Lord, and also here he again calls Arjuna as Partha to express his special mercy upon his own cousin, that is, son of Kunti Devi. So yes, as if, yes Arjuna, if I will not reveal it to you, then to whom I will reveal my form? You are so dear to me. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti, as Bhagavan already said, that you are eligible to receive this knowledge. You are Shraddhavan, you are Anasuya. So that is in all sense you are eligible to receive this knowledge and as well as to see this form. So definitely I am showing you. Okay, and the next verse, verse number 6. Pashyadityan vasun rudran ashvinau marutastatha bahunyadrishta purvani pashyashcharyani bharata. Pashya, see, Adityan, the 12 sons of Aditi, Vasun, the 8 Vasus, Rudran, the 11 forms of Rudra, Ashvinau, the 2 Ashvinis, Marutaha, the 49 Maruts, that is, demigods of the wind, Vayu. Tatha, also, Bahuni, many, Adrishta, that you have not seen, Purvani, before, Pashya, see, Ashcharyani, all the wonders, Bharata, O best of the Bharatas. Translation. O best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. Adrishta Purvani. So I am going to reveal the sight which no one has ever seen or even heard of before. So here a beautiful thing is mentioned in the purport. Even though Arjuna was a personal friend of Krishna and the most advanced of learned men, it was still not possible for him to know everything about Krishna. Here it is stated that humans have neither heard nor known of all these forms and manifestations. Now Krishna reveals these wonderful forms. So as Arjuna prayed to Krishna to reveal himself Asheshataha, as Arjuna said in the last chapter, in chapter 10, I want to know him. I want to know you completely, Asheshataha. So don't keep anything unknown within yourself. Disclose everything to me. I want to know you, Asheshataha. So, but see, that is why it is said repeatedly that it is only by the mercy of the Lord one can know him completely. Arjuna was his best friend. Still, it was not known to Arjuna. Okay, so verse 7. Ihaikastham jagatkritsnam pashyadya sacharacharam mama dehe gudakesha yachanyadrashtumicchasi. Synonyms. Iha, in this, ekastham, in one place, jagat, the universe, kritsnam, completely, pashya, see, adya, immediately, sa, with, chara, the moving, acharam, and not moving, mama, my, dehe, in this body, gudakesha, O Arjuna, yat, that which, cha, also, anyat, other, drashtum, to see, ichhasi, you wish. Translation. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything, moving and non-moving, is here completely in one place. So Bhagavan says, see everything, moving, non-moving, whatever you want to see in this body of mine, O Arjuna. Adrishta Purvani, that is never seen before. It is only possible to see if I reveal it. It is not possible by your own endeavor. It is not possible by the own endeavors for even the advanced spiritualists. Behold, see this as you wish to see. The next verse. न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुम् अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षुः पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम्. Synonyms. Na, never. Tu, but. Mam, me. Shakyase, are able. Drashtum, to see. Anena, with this. Eva, certainly, Swachakshusha, your own eyes, Divyam, divine, Dadami, I give, Te, to you, Chakshuhu, eyes, Pashya, see, Me, my, Yogam, Aishwaram, inconceivable, mystic power. So this is a very interesting verse which concludes this section very meaningfully. As Bhagavan says, Natu mam shakyase drashtum. You cannot see me. Anenaiva svachakshusha, by your own material eyes. Divyam dadami te chakshu. I am giving you the spiritual eyes. Pashyame yoga, yogameshwaram. That by that you behold my mystic opulences. So, I will read the purport. A pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with two hands. Shyama Sundara Rupa. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind but with spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Krishna, Arjuna is told not to change his mind but his vision. The universal form of Krishna is not very important. That will be clear in subsequent verses. Yet because Arjuna wanted to see it, the Lord gives him the particular vision required to see the universal form. Okay, so devotees who are correctly situated in a transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by a godless display of opulences. The playmates of Krishna, the friends of Krishna, and the parents of Krishna never want Krishna to show his opulences. The gopis, the gopas, Yashoda Mata, Nanda Baba, they were not interested to know about Krishna's opulences. They are so immersed in pure love that they do not even know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their loving exchange, they forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. In the Śrimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the boys who play with Krishna are all highly pious souls, and after many births, they are able to play with Krishna. Such boys do not know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They take him as a personal friend. Therefore, Shukadeva Goswami recites this verse. Itham satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena maya shritanam naradarakena sakam vijahruh krita punya punjaha. So here is a supreme person who is considered the impersonal Brahman by great sages, the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotees, and the product of material nature by ordinary men. Now these boys who have performed many pious activities in their past lives are playing with that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Śrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 12, Verse 11. The fact is that the devotee is not concerned with seeing the Vishwarupa or the universal form. But Arjuna wanted to see it to substantiate Krishna's statements so that in the future people could understand that Krishna not only theoretically or philosophically presented himself as the Supreme, but actually presented himself as such to Arjuna. Arjuna must confirm this, because Arjuna is the beginning of the Parampara system. Those who are actually interested in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and who follow in the footsteps of Arjuna should understand that Krishna not only theoretically presented himself as the Supreme, but actually revealed himself as the Supreme. So the Lord gave Arjuna the necessary power to see his universal form because he knew that Arjuna did not particularly want to see it, as we have already explained. So here we see, as it is said, Arjuna must confirm this because Arjuna is the beginning of the Parampara system. So we see in the 4th chapter, as the Lord said, that in the beginning of the millennium, I gave this knowledge to the sun god Vivaswan. And Vivaswan then, in the disciplic succession, gave it to Manu. And from Manu, it came down to Ikshvaku. But then, in course of time, the disciplic succession, the chain was lost. The chain of disciplic succession, it was lost. And that is why today, O Arjuna, I am going to reveal this knowledge to you again, because you are the eligible candidate, being Bhakto Sime Sakha Cheti. You are my devotee and my true friend. So, and we see we must follow in the footsteps of Arjuna to understand Krishna and his instructions properly. So this is a very important note that we must take from this purport. So we see the Lord gives Arjuna the required power, the spiritual eyes to see his universal form, not with the mind. See, through our mind we can speculate many forms of the Lord, but they are the result of our mental concoction. So it is not very much acceptable. If it is acceptable by me, it may not be acceptable by some other person. But by the mercy of the Lord, if one can see his form by the spiritual eyes, then it is absolute. So we see to prove that Krishna didn't present himself as a supreme, either theoretically or philosophically, but he actually presented himself as such, that is, as the supreme, to Arjuna. Because we see most people believe in seeing is believing. Isn't it? There is a saying, seeing is believing. And we see we have a proneness to judge everything from the aspects of material perception. So that is also another reason that we have understood from this section. So as we said, the next section from verse number 9, it will be Sanjay's description. As we see here, the Lord has started to reveal his universal form. So we will see the form in our next class, along with Arjuna. So with this, we have come to the end of today's session. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna.